So what if I told you that self-love is not something that you learn? It's not a skill that you have to master. Rather, it is you knowing that you are in fact love. You are the embodiment of love. But how do we actually feel into it? How do we actually feel into this breathing force within us? And how can we live this life of love so it really helps us to tap into this life of abundance and joy and fulfillment that I believe that we are all deserving of feeling. My name is Jessica Angeleri. I'm a feminine embodiment coach, pleasure, intimacy, mentor, and I really love and I am so devoted to the feminine and really guiding women back to their bodies to reconnect with the very essence of love that they are through pleasure and through sensual practices. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, welcome. And before we continue on with this juicy talk, make sure to subscribe to my channel, drop a like and a comment. And if you don't know what to comment, just drop a heart. This really helps with the algorithm so I can continue being seen by other beautiful women and sisters just like you. So today, let's explore what is love. What does it really mean to love yourself? And this is going to be part of a Love Yourself series, actually. So today I'm going to be talking about how to embody this love. What does it mean to love yourself? And then I'm going to drop other episodes related to ways, empowered ways that you can start really loving yourself. And I wanted to explore this concept that creates a new foundation for love, the feminine way. A way that doesn't involve comparison, judgment, the mind, more an integration of the mind. And it's more about the feeling body. This is the essence of love. This is where we feel the essence of love. When we look up definitions of love, I actually looked it up. And what I noticed was that the definitions that came up was more about the feelings directed towards others, our desire for a partner, affection for others, affection for friends, your care for family. This is what showed up when it came to loving yourself. But have we ever paused and really asked ourselves this question of, how do I apply this love to me? What does that really feel like for me? What I've noticed is our society likes to put things into categories, right? And so we've put love into these categories or frameworks like love languages. You've probably heard of those. And while, yes, they can be useful, I believe, though, these frameworks limit us. They limit our love's potential and what this abundant, infinite frequency can actually bring for us. Love is not confined to neat little boxes. It's boundless. It's an ancient energy, and it's one that exists without definition. And there are so many layers to it. So I don't really believe that we can define what love is, even in this little video here today. And that's why my work is really all about our womanhood and ways that we can come into this frequency of love in a way that feels organic to us. And whilst honoring the sacred feminine, and that means it's about coming into this intimacy and this relationship with the body. The very thing that I was always told, which is why I believe I'm here, why I'm devoted to this path, is because I was told that I'm too sensitive and I love too much and I shouldn't be giving away my love. And I have really come to realize that this is actually my superpower and what I'm so passionate about, reviving and sharing and showing women that this portal of love can actually be felt in so many different ways, and it is actually what heals us. It's what heals our planet. It's what heals Mother Earth and humanity. And so it's not just about self-care practices. Love is a frequency. It's a wisdom of the universe. And I believe it's the reason why we are all here, and it's the journey of life to really always know and understand how we can be resourced in this love even when the ego shows up. It's what is on the other side of pain and fear and sadness. It is that gentle touch that you feel from yourself, from your loved one. It's carried through your breath. It's when you invite love to enter through your breath. And this is what keeps us fully alive and grounded into our bodies and also connected to spirit. It's the scent that you take in from the rose that carries the codes of the feminine, of beauty. It's when you get to experience life and you coming fully alive in your body through your dance, through music. It's when you laugh in sisterhood, when you're sharing, when you're crying, when you are connected with your body. And it's when you feel that sense of worth within you and confidence in your skin. There are just so many layers of this. But at the end of the day, I believe it's this thread that is opening us to life itself. It is love. It is spirit. It is our connection to the universe. I believe it's all the same thing. So aligning with your heart and learning to trust your intuition are key parts of rising to a higher frequency. And this asks us to tune inward, to honor your emotions, your body sensations, to embrace what you're truly feeling in the moment, and at the same time, know who you truly are at the soul level. When you do, here is when you have a deeper understanding of love, I believe. And it's a love that goes beyond a desire for external validation. I believe we're moving away from this now. I believe we have to move away from this. This love frequency is a quiet, subtle presence of peace, an ancient knowing within your soul. So when I think about what love really is and what it means to love yourself, I feel it is this presence of peace with yourself, with love, with life, a feeling of wholeness, knowing you are whole, that no matter what, no matter how hard life is, no matter the circumstances, the challenges that come your way, you still know that you are whole. I've got me. I'm whole. I fully love and honor myself. I fully love and honor this path that I'm on. And I take full responsibility for where I am now. I feel like that's part of love as well. In this as well, you're not on this search for more outside of you. You're open to more, but you fully love and accept your life and yourself as you are right now, all whilst holding this curiosity or this presence for more. In my work with women, I have noticed a common theme, and I've noticed that women, we are very natural in nurturing. We're often more comfortable in giving love than receiving it. Let me know if that feels true for you as well, or if that has been your path. And I do believe that it is part of this shadow aspect of the feminine. Society has conditioned us to be the good girl, to prioritize the needs over our own needs. And we sacrifice our vitality, our boundaries, for the desire for acceptance. Again, this is linked to the idea that we need to be validated by others. There's that desire for that. And over time, though, what happens is we lose our connection to the sacred within, to your wholeness, right? To this deep, nourishing, medicinal love that flows between your heart and your womb and your yoni. And it's this voice, this wisdom from your very soul, from your goddess that lives within your heart. I believe as well that your yoni is the greatest reminder of how much love we can really tap into for ourselves and for others as well. I've actually done a video about the yoni and her power, so make sure you check that out as well. I'll drop the link in the comments below. When we lose this connection with ourselves, we may not even know what we truly need, what our desires are, what our boundaries are. we might start to then attract situations or partners, relationships that reflect this misalignment with ourselves, this disconnection. And maybe we start to attract a man who is unavailable in his own emotions. Maybe we start to attract someone who's manipulative. Maybe we feel like we have to be manipulative to get what we need, and at the end of the day, to actually receive love. But again, this is very misaligned to who we truly are. Regardless of what I'm mentioning or what your journey is, which I honor and appreciate, but we can also be grateful in a sense that we have come into this disconnection. We can be grateful for our path because maybe it's led you to this place where you are now, and it has led you to a curiosity for more love. You know, you have a desire to bring this love in and breathe that in because you're done with feeling misaligned or attracting people who aren't honoring your worth. You're done with that. I believe that for most women, anyway, we desire to feel adored and seen and truly loved for who we are at the core, at the soul level. And we desire to feel confident in our own skin. We desire to feel understood. And this also makes me wonder about how well we are turning or tuning into our own hearts and understanding what we need actually in the first place. Who am I actually? Beyond all the conditionings and the shoulds and the expectations of people. Perhaps we've never been given the tools to really explore this or to use this power of self-love to cultivate success and light in our life. Maybe we've never felt that. And this disconnection can be traced through generations as well, but we are here to change the pattern. You have to make the choice to make a change. It starts with you. To know that love flows through you in every moment. It is the medicine of wholeness, the healer of all wounds. Now, my previous video that I've done is a self-love meditation, and I really do encourage you to go and watch that because it really allows you to fully embody this frequency of love, to step into that. Now, let me ask you, when I tell you that you are whole just as you are love just as you are, without needing to prove yourself or to seek the love outside of you, regardless if you have a relationship or not, can you believe it? Do you believe this? What would happen if we stopped seeking self-love and instead simply knew that we are just love, just for being you, just for being here right now, breathing, present, fully engaged with life? Manifesting love in your life isn't about learning a new skill. It's about remembering. It's a remembrance. It's about embodying the love that already resides within you. This love can show up in a way that you hold space for yourself, in the way that you wake up every morning to devote your time, your energy to yourself, to your feminine, to your body. It's in the way that you honor your emotions. It's in the way that you smile. It's in the way that you have compassion for yourself. When you have compassion for yourself, you have compassion for others as well. It's in your humility, in the way that you walk into life, into situations without losing yourself. It is this forever present frequency that you get to tap into always. Remember that. So it is an embodied way of living. Embodiment is related to this idea of loving yourself because it encompasses all. It is the way that you are living and breathing and seeing life through your heart, through your body. The more that we can practice embodying this love in our daily rituals, in our feminine practices, through pleasure practices, the more we expand our capacity to hold our power, to discover our wholeness, to attract abundance, to alchemize. We become magnets for the very essence that we desire, drawing in relationships and experiences that mirror our highest self, because we've learned to be her. We are her. We're not separate from our highest self. Now, I wanted to share a little bit about my own personal journey when it came to awakening to self-love. My journey with self-love actually began quite a few years ago as an educator, and I was working with children who I realized are naturally open-hearted, unguarded, and they're just brimming with this love. They're exuding this love. They accept it and they give it freely. Now, if you have children, you probably know what I'm speaking about. And they have this confidence in themselves. They're very embodied. They're very in tune with themselves. They are not conscious of this, obviously, but they just have this way in life that we can really learn from. And the way that they tune into life really amazes me. To me, this displays that as humans, we are born with this natural acceptance of who we are. This pure innocence, this erotic innocence, this way of being, this very essence of who we are that is embedded in this love. Life, however, conditions us to forget this natural state. And very quickly, it happens from a very young age. And I feel that we forget this love, this high frequency, this spaciousness within ourselves that is heaven on earth until we remember it again. So what happens along the way in our life? We are told that we need love, but nobody really shows us how to cultivate love. Some of us may never have had any real love modeled to us. Maybe we've never felt it. Maybe we never grew up in an environment where we could truly allow ourselves to fully blossom and shine. Being our authentic self didn't feel safe, right? And so we learned how to step into survival, to protect ourselves, to take on facades. We learned very young what it meant to receive love. Maybe it meant that the more that you give love, that meant you receive love. Maybe the more that you achieve high, or you're more perfect and you don't show any faults or have too many emotions, that means you're more accepted and more loved. What was it for you? Did you ever have moments where you felt like you had to sacrifice yourself in order to gain approval or acceptance or love? So love needs a foundation. It requires safety for us to land on, an inner sanctuary, an inner wisdom. When we root ourselves in and know that whatever happens, the mistakes, the breakups that we go through, the shame that comes through us, the judgments about ourselves, about our looks, whatever it is, I know I'm still loved. So we need to come into this space, to come into love our inner girl, the inner child that maybe has never felt that love before, or maybe felt that in order to be loved, I have to meet these certain standards that were given to me. So then love becomes conditional. If you check out one of my self-paced courses, Embody the Sacred Feminine, there is a module in there where I've dedicated this to love itself. And in there is an inner child meditation where you actually meet your inner child and you give her the love that she's been so seeking from you, because you have that resource within you. And then there is also a beautiful sensual embodied movement that allows you to come into this integration of heart and womb and just move through that and feel the love blossom from within outward. So I'll drop the link for that below. It's called Embody the Sacred Feminine. So, we can see that we become wrapped in layers of judgment, insecurity, and fear. We start to believe that we must earn love and that we aren't good enough just as we are. And this conditioning is not our fault, but it has disconnected us from our truest self. Reflecting back myself, my life as a teenager, I have these recollections of comparing myself, especially with other girls. And there was this inner voice of comparing that began to overtake these thoughts of, oh, I wish I had blonde hair like her. I wish I had more money. I wish I was rich. I wish I could dance like her. I wish that I was loud like her or confident like her. I wish I was skinny like her. And so for years, I unknowingly sought out love externally. And I did that through my comparison with other women. This is another shadow side of the feminine that we have to start looking at. And I believed that my worth depended on my appearance and my accomplishments and validation from others. And this is still very much alive in today's society, even more than ever, with Instagram and how many followers you have, how many likes you have. And oh my gosh, this just puts so much pressure on us to perform, which then disconnects us from this very essence of what we're truly here for, to experience life, this new earth, in a way that honors the feminine and the masculine. So little did I know that this language that I was molding into would be embedded into my subconscious without knowing my insecurities would soon become part of my negative self-talk, and it was feeding my ego. Our minds become reshaped and conditioned, and then it shapes the way that we walk into life and who we manifest, who we attract. We develop ingrained patterns that cause us to create stories about ourselves, and in turn, we become our own enemy. We're too worried about what others are thinking about us. But are all these thoughts, are they really true? Are they your truth? These are the questions that we have to start asking ourselves. Is this judgment really coming from me, or is it rooted in fear? Is it truth or is it fear? Is this coming from my past, or is it who I am choosing to be today? So for me, I was very attached to the stories that I told myself, or that my ego was building up for me. I began to lose sight of my true essence, my core values, my self-worth, and my disconnection with my heart, with my body began to grow even more so. I don't even think I knew what I truly wanted or desired or valued, because all of my values and sense of self was molded from a very young age when I learned about love, that love was attached to conditions and what I do and how much I perform and how perfect I am. Maybe for you it was different. So how could I appreciate all of my beautiful qualities and offer my gifts to the world if I hadn't even been given the tools to do so, if I hadn't felt safe to be my authentic self, because my authentic self was just not good enough. And so this started to shape my purpose, or rather disconnect me from that. And that lack of self-worth, a lot of doubt, or even just not knowing who I truly am, and lack of self-love, all of this manifested in ways of needing to change myself to be loved. And this began to be projected through my experiences with people, especially in my relationships. I was seeking love, validation, self-worth from someone else, and I was completely oblivious to this. And this seeking of something outside of me continued to attract people, I should say men, or situations that kept showing me really how locked in I was to this sense of unworthiness. And that's the hard truth. And I've come to accept this. I've moved through this. I've healed through it. So in turn, my dark elements or my shadows, like fear and insecurity, took effect, and my cycle continued to attract what I was thinking about myself, okay, or what I was latching onto, the insecurity, the fears, the unworthiness. I was also ashamed and scared to fully express my own needs in the fear of losing that person. Now, how many of you have been in relationships where it ended because maybe you didn't feel loved enough or feel safe enough, or you felt like you were going to be abandoned, or you were trying to make it work so much that you lost sight of what it is that you truly needed? Or you felt that you had to continue proving yourself in this relationship, and in effect, you start to just exhaust yourself. You give away your vitality. So my love really was rooted in the idea that I had to show up as perfect, or I should say the illusion of love. And I had to show up in a very controlled way. And the sign of imperfection, I saw it as a weakness. And then if I showed this weakness, it would mean that I would be unloved or not accepted. And so I've really had to work hard at being very energetically attuned, emotionally attuned, and I've had to build that inner sanctuary, that inner foundation for these emotions to land on and to be vulnerable with them. So then I can communicate them from a place of integrity. And I believe this is all tied to self-love. It wasn't until I went through a really challenging breakup that I experienced a profound awakening through guidance from my own spiritual healer. I began to see that self-love required me to go beyond this surface level acceptance. It meant that I had to develop this capacity to see myself with compassion and healing my pain with so much love, being devoted to this love, embracing all the parts of myself that, especially that I had deemed as unworthy. I had to show up for this daily through feminine practices, through reconnecting with my body, because it's so easy to go back into this autopilot, into the old ways. And I discovered that beneath my fears and insecurities or my doubts, there was a girl within me who wanted to be loved, who wanted to be accepted without conditions, and wanted to be just adored for who she was without needing to change herself, all whilst still opening up to the possibilities of expansion and change and growth, of course. So the awakening taught me to see my inherent worth and trust in my own needs and my boundaries, and that they're worthy. And as I opened my heart, I began to attract abundance, friendships, and love. My relationships are transformed. And today I'm in a beautiful, balanced, respectful relationship built on a foundation of mutual love and compassion. So the relationships that we do have with ourselves really depicts the relationship and experiences that we have with others. This is really important to understand. The relationship that you have with your yoni as well depicts the love for yourself and how you know yourself. The relationship that you have with your breath can really help us become more attuned to who we are and really drop into this beautiful frequency of love and live from that space. It's not enough to just do affirmations. We have to fully embody it and feel it, alchemize the pain into love, and know that you are fully resourced in this. So through my work with women, I now guide them to reconnect with their bodies and their hearts in these ways, creating a space for them to shed these societal expectations and discover their true essence, to remember who they are through this work of embodiment, and using pleasure as they come back into their sensual body. Because why not use pleasure as a way of remembering and activating this love? Why not, when we have this tool to turn to? So this is a journey of self-acceptance, and it's practice. It's practice seeing yourself in the mirror and loving yourself fully, coming into acceptance for who you are, where you are in this moment, in this present time. We all have layers of pain and judgment and insecurities. We all have them, but it's up to us to peel them back. Those judgments and self-doubts and those stories you tell yourself, that's not you. That's not rooted in love. But beneath these layers, there is a deep reservoir, a deep vibration of love waiting for you to access. But self-love requires vulnerability, courage, devotion. You have to get real about your emotions and insecurities. It's the only way. It really is. And this kind of self-responsibility is an act of self-love in itself. It's about you getting vulnerable and intimate with yourself. It means letting go of the search for the external validation and learning to trust yourself and the wisdom of your heart. This is the place of true freedom, I believe. And self-love, this act of self-love, allows us to live from this place of compassion, understanding others as well without judgment, and aligning our lives with our own deepest values of empathy and safety and peace, all those beautiful frequencies. And I'm here to help, because you don't have to do it alone. This is what we do in my one-to-one temples, in my group temples like Feminine Remembrance. We dive deep into the energetic feminine body. We reconnect with your feminine energy, and we rebuild this loving relationship with yourself through your womb, through your yoni, through your heart, with beautiful, powerful, ancient feminine practices. We tap into your sensuality, which is a beautiful pathway of healing. This is the way of the feminine. This is the feminine way of healing. This is the feminine way of truly embodying love. Gone are the days of comparison and self-judgment and judging others and competition. Let's really honor this new earth. Let's walk this new loving earth together. Living from the heart, we can see with clarity. We can be grounded in truth, that we are enough, that we are whole. You're not alone in this, sister. This is why I feel so passionate about the work that I do. Authentic love transcends romantic relationships. It extends beyond ego. When we cultivate love, we discover empathy, compassion, a deeper sense of purpose, of why we're here, who we are. We learn to honor our energy, and we learn to discern who to give our energy to. We learn how to say no without feeling shame. We learn to step into our power, so then those around us can't affect us. We are our own sovereign queens, standing in our sovereign hearts. This is the power of love, and it reminds us that we are whole. Imagine a world where you no longer seek approval. You no longer go into a relationship proving that you are so worthy, or that you are so beautiful, or so loved. You go into that relationship knowing it. And he comes into this wanting to provide more of this love for you. Imagine knowing deeply that you are love itself. Knowing this will have ripple effects. So it's time, sister, to recognize that you are enough. You are love. You are love itself. When we do this, when we know this, when we embody this, when we remember this, we open the door to more possibilities. We attract relationships that serve our heart. We attract opportunities that are here for that serve our abundance and happiness. Your feminine heart is your power. So let go, trust, and remember that you are the love. Embrace it, live it, and watch your life really support you in this as well, in this knowing, in this remembrance. And I'm also here to support you as well. Reach out to me if you do desire to return to your womanhood and to feel safe in your womanhood, to feel safe in your body, to honor the resources within your womb and your heart. This is what we do in my Feminine Reconnect one-to-one temples and Feminine Remembrance. So if that speaks to you, make sure to check out those links. I'll drop the link below. Book a session with me. I'd love to have a chat with you. And also remember that I have my free offerings as well, which I'll also drop below. Stay tuned for my upcoming episodes about how you can start embodying this love in empowering ways to serve your divine feminine and earth itself. I can't wait to share that with you. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know what landed with you and what has your journey been like as well in reclaiming this love for yourself. I love that you're here. Thank you so much. My name is Jessica Angelari, and make sure to subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, gorgeous.